This hour of news and views is sponsored by Africa Muslims Agency. Africa Muslims Agency, a beacon of hope to communities for over 35 years in Africa and beyond. And talking of 35 years, a milestone that has been achieved by Al Baraka Bank, 35 years of existence. And Alhamdulillah, personally for me, I've had the opportunity of engaging with Al Baraka Bank for a better part of over 2 decades. While here at Salam Media and also previously at CII, I recall the days, the Al Baraka Equity Fund and Al Baraka are very, very closely associated with Muslim media, and also personally for me, my memorable trip, my memorable journey of a lifetime, my Hajj, actually started with Al Baraka Bank, a trip I had to undertaken in 1994. And at that point in time, the Hajj a saving scheme. So these are memories, and also all the people over the years, Shabir Chauhan, and many, many people that we had engaged with. And clearly, it is a milestone and it needs to be commended, particularly for us as a Muslim community, looking at Islamic banking, looking at Islamic financing, looking at investment savings. There's just so much that has been achieved. And this is the reason why we are joined by three people this morning. We Mohammed Kaka, the CEO of Al Baraka Bank South Africa, Advocate AB Mohammed S.C, one of the founders of Al Baraka Bank, and one of the employees of Al Baraka, 34 years with Al Baraka Bank, Brother Naushaad Khan. Brother Mohammed Kaka, Advocate AB Mohammed, Naushaad Ibrahim Khan, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Juma Mubarak. Welcome, and an absolute pleasure having all of you on at the same time.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Well,
Walaikum
Mohammed
salam wa
Kaka,
rahmatullah.
let's start off with you as the CEO of Al Baraka Bank, 35 years of existence. And I'm sure many employees at Al Baraka haven't even reached that age of 35, but so much has actually happened in 35 years. And all I can say from my side personally, I've got very, very fond memories of Al Baraka Bank throughout this period.
Brother Inayat, assalamu alaikum to you and to the listeners, and good morning to those also listening in. I think 35 years is definitely, it's more than a generation. They say a generation is up to 30 years. So we're into the second generation, and you're so true and so correct. Our average age in the organization of our employees is less than 35. We've got people that haven't been born and haven't been around in the world as long as the bank has been around. But a lot of good things that have happened over the 35 years in the history of the bank, and a lot more to happen, inshallah, in the years that we are here to provide solutions, financial solutions, without compromising clients' religious beliefs and their ethical beliefs. And alhamdulillah, a milestone for the bank, but one of many milestones that we still wish to achieve, and inshallah, many more to come.
Advocate AB Mohammed, we've seen the bank actually grow in the last 35 years, tremendous growth in leaps and bounds, servicing the needs of the Muslim community, particularly with regard to Islamic banking. But all of that required a vision. And being one of the founders of Al Baraka Bank, I'm sure if you go back, if you think, if you reflect on that vision, and when Al Baraka Bank had actually started out, I'm sure that there are many memories that obviously go across your mind right now in terms of what was intended then and what we see 35 years later.
Actually, the vision started 5 years before the license was secured. And the reason is that I've always said that the business of Islam is to walk the talk and not to talk the talk. يَمُنُّونَ عَلَيْكَ أَنْ أَسْلَمُوا. Allah Almighty says very clearly, when we enter the fold of Islam, Islam does not, or we do not do Islam a favor. Islam does us a favor. And therefore, we need to apply the principle outside the mosque. Often we used to say what we do in the mosque is Allah's business, and what we do outside is our business. That is shirk. And therefore, we must apply the principles of the Quran in our day to day life, but particularly in business, in issues relating to our homes, in the manner in which we earn our provisions, etc. So all of these things, the configuration, all of that, I felt very strongly that we need to apply for an institution that is properly regulated. We do not want any favors from the state. Islam can be applied anywhere in the world. Otherwise, we would say that Allah Almighty made a mistake. And therefore, around about 1985, I applied my mind. I went around the world. I had done some research and continued with the application with the Reserve Bank, starting with what was then known as the Deposit Taking Financial Institutions Act. And the first provision, that is Section 1, required the applicant to satisfy the governors or the board of the Reserve Bank that Islamic banking is in the public interest. Alhamdulillah, by 1987 or 88, I was able to persuade the Reserve Bank that it was in the public interest. And what kicked in thereafter was this provision, the Section 2, that means to go ahead with the license. But what we needed to do then is to get the necessary expertise. Because anything that you do for Islam, you must do it with excellence. This is an injunction of the Quran. And therefore, I secured, having examined one or two potential parties, I secured the Al Baraka banking group, which was then already spread into 34 countries. And that took a year or two to finalize. And eventually the license was secured in 1989. And we were able to then commence the preparation with one or two personalities, one of whom I met him only just last week in Jordan, Dr. Yunus Al Tamimi. He came down and then we prepared the first 40 documents, the actual documents for the Murabaha, Musharaka, and Mudaraba transactions. So, Alhamdulillah, there's been a lot of events. And since then, Sharia compliance has entered the mainstream of the South African Muslim community as well as the national groups. And I'm pleased to say that it is also a well accepted terminology in the National Treasury as well. We have had an excellent team since then, and we have grown to, I'm sure Mohammed Kaka will tell you, approaching 10 billion in terms of the bank's assets and Baraka Bank. But more important than that is that the catalytic effect of the license has led to the general Sharia compliant industry in South Africa to reach, Alhamdulillah, 100 billion rand. So that in itself is an indication of the potential if Muslims have confidence in what we have to do. And this is why I say that it's time for Muslims to stop talking and start walking. This is very important for us to be able to achieve a very holistic, ecologically connected, multidimensional system where we draw no distinction between the dunya and the akhirah.
Yes, Jazakallah for that. Let's bring Brother Naushaad into the discussion. Now, Brother Naushaad, 34 years with Al Baraka Bank, and correct me if I'm wrong, perhaps the longest standing employee of Al Baraka Bank. So you've been there, you've done it, you've seen it all. And I'm sure there are many, many memories, looking at from the time you started off and where you are right now as the Information Technology Security Manager of Al Baraka Bank.
Alhamdulillah. To the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I've been fortunate to be part of this amazing lifelong journey since 1990. So yes, 34 years in September, inshallah. So I've currently taken on a new role as the Information Technology Security Manager, having worked 18 years prior to that as an Information Technology Manager, 8 years before that in various IT roles, 7 years before that in legal, credit, and administration. So there's been several opportunities in terms of growth and development, alhamdulillah. Working in the Islamic environment, the ability to allow income, the fact that you, in some way, contributing towards an Islamic economic system and uplifting of individuals, business organizations, the bank's deep commitment to giving back to society, being affiliated with the global brand and with individuals with like-minded principles. Alhamdulillah, it's been, a really great environment to work in.
Jazakallah for that. And let's bring Mohammed Kaka back into the discussion. Mohammed, as Advocate Abi Mohammed speaks about 10 billion, and this alone is evidence of how the bank has actually grown over a period of time. Noshad, obviously, information security manager, the digital age. And I think if I look into my home, I think I will still find that little savings book as well, with figures and stamped as well. So, these are obviously memories that I have of Al Baraka Bank. But, I'm sure looking at Al Baraka Bank and being a pioneer when we're talking of Islamic banking, and since then, we've seen the financial services industry grow, not only in South Africa, but right across the entire globe in leaps and bounds. Now, all of this has taken a lot of hard work, but also at the same time, looking at the resources, looking at people who are visionaries to actually drive towards the success of Al Baraka Bank. And I'm sure you've seen a lot, you've heard a lot in that regard as well, Mohammed.
Thank you, Inayat. I think, when we reflect back on our 35 years, there's a couple of ingredients that has been put into the mix that has created this wonderful organization called Al Baraka. I think you've heard our founders and their pioneering spirit that they brought into the organization. You've heard Naushaad, but like Naushaad, we've got over 300 committed, dedicated, valued staff that contribute daily in making this organization what it is. From the first person that you walk into at the branch to the person that is dealing with the security from the IT perspective to the compliance people that are ensuring that whatever we do meets the regulatory requirements, to our Sharia supervisory team that ensure that our products and our processes are always kept in check, to our marketing team that puts the brand out there. We've got a very diverse staff complement that helps us achieve the wonderful successes that we achieve. But Brother Inayat, you also mentioned something which is important for us. Over the last 5 years, we have taken this combination of our pioneering spirit, we've taken our dedicated and valued staffing complement, and we've added into it a mix of digitalization. So today, in our organization, we've got a situation where robots sit side by side with human counterparts to improve processing in the organization. We've developed a world-class mobile application to give our customers access to their financial information 24/7 at their particular convenience. We use artificial intelligence in our decision making to ensure that our decision making is timeless and it's robust from there. So I think as an organization, we have a wonderful mix of the necessary skills and resources that we require to provide clients their financial solutions in this modern age of digital. So we've come from the passbook side. I still remember when I joined the bank, that was one of my early tasks in the bank, is to sit down on a Saturday morning and you'd have customers come in to update their books. Today, those customers have the ease of touching a mobile device, doing it in a secure manner. And we've enhanced our mobile applications. We've brought so many leading technologies. We've got in this unfortunate world that we live in, where people are targeted for their money. In the olden days, like with the passbooks, the criminals used to come with vehicles and guns and everything else. Now they just hack into your accounts. So we've brought in world-class features from a security perspective. We, on our mobile application, we have an ability to hide bank accounts. We have dual and triple factor authentication when doing secure transactions. So, we've had to keep relevant with the changes in the time, and we have to make sure that we provide solutions for clients that are relevant in their time.
Yes, and also bringing back Advocate AB Mohammed now. Advocate, looking at the Muslim community in South Africa, and I know we've had tremendous achievements across all sectors of life. Whether we're looking at it from a political perspective, on a social level, on a socio-economic level, and what these 35 years of Al Baraka and this celebration actually means is, yeah, we have a flagship project that has come to fruition, a project that we as a Muslim Ummah need to recognize and to be proud of as well. And I wouldn't say with pride in a negative sense, but this is a huge, this is a massive achievement for a small community, a minority amongst minorities in this country.
You're quite right. I just want to endorse what Mohammed Kaka has said. I was just yesterday with Al Baraka Bank head office, and I was absolutely amazed at the technological advancement that the staff have made. We are very blessed to have 300 highly competent staff and highly motivated. And that gives me immense pleasure because I know that this forms a platform for us to grow even further. But having said that, one has to look at the global situation. The Let's call it the Sharia compliant banking industry globally is roughly about $4 trillion, and it's growing between 18 and 20% per annum. It's projected to be around about 6 trillion by 2025. But if you look on the other side, there is still the opportunity for halal business, which is also around about $6 trillion. If we can marry the two, meaning the banking world as well as that, especially with the innovations that are being advanced in countries like Malaysia, Indonesia, Turkey as well, then we can immensely benefit. Now, South Africa, although we are a small community, Alhamdulillah, we're fairly resourceful and we are keeping in line with global standards. So it's a question of a quantum leap that what would normally take an institution 10 years, we can achieve that in 10 months. So this is very important for us. There's a huge opportunity. But for South Africa as the economy as a whole, you look at the RDP, the Reconstruction and Development Program, and that had failed. And then the next few group or governments stepped in and we brought in GEAR, which also failed. And that was to show a trickle down economy. And next step was the National Development Plan. But the elephant in the room for all three, and the reason for the failure, is that 7 trillion rands circulates in the South African economy. That includes the 10 rand in your pocket and the 10 rand in the savings of the housewife. Now, this 7 trillion is at least 90% of that is controlled and managed by five of the big banks. But these five are all riba-based banks. So this is the reason why the economic system is very extractive, and it's a question of taking, making, and wasting. The Islamic notion is to participate, and it's not extractive, it is participation financing. We are not collateral based, but trade based financing. So there's a huge opportunity for us to show the rest of the population in this country that in order to achieve economic distributive justice and fairness and equity, participation financing is so important for us. But then there are windows in these big banks as well, and they have grown. So it is hope that with the pioneering spirit and the pioneering example of Al Baraka Bank, we will be able to show the way. Now, we have human capital. What we need to do is partner with natural capital, and that is the natural resources, not to abuse the natural resources, but to reduce, repair, and recycle. And that's the way we need to go with participation financing. Uh, for example, if you were to finance a Bugatti, that means you will be involved for anything between 10 and 15 million rand. But halalan is one thing. We need to go beyond halalan, and that is tayyiban, and that is wholesome funding. You would be better off to finance 10 Toyotas than to finance one Bugatti. And this is the kind of spirit that I would like to see our bankers to move outside the four walls of the traditional banking system and to look at the economy as a whole ecologically to create the mizan. Allah tataghaw fil mizan. Allah Almighty commands you not to disturb the balance. And it is important for us to create a balanced community, a balanced society, and a balanced economy.
Well, definitely. In fact, I actually quite like. I like what I'm hearing actually when we're talking about distributive justice, and there's just so much, and it's just a pity that we don't have much time that we could go into detail. And just want to bring Brother Noshad back into the discussion. And both Mohammed Kaka and Advocate Abu Bakr Mohammed spoke about people. And 300 people, very, very carefully selected, and I'm sure throughout the last 34 years, you've just seen the growth in people, and also at the same time, looking at their passion, their desire to work for an organization like Al Baraka Bank. And their contribution, and I'm sure that's important because at the end of the day, it is about people. We can have all the systems in the world, but it's about people who will drive these systems and who will contribute towards the success.
Absolutely. I think the pulse of the organization is in its people. And alhamdulillah, you can feel the energy and the buzz of progress in the air. There's been many exciting developments, especially in the digitalization space. And so it feels like we're always in motion with this constant flow of energy, inspiration from our executive team. And that permeates throughout the organization. So the fact that our executives take the time from their exhausted schedules to interact with staff, ask about our families, it's in itself it's motivational. So we've got a diverse and talented staff complement with people from different faiths, ethnicities, backgrounds, and banks really gone out of its way to care for its people. Whether it's creating awareness. We just had an ethics presentation this morning, promoting health and well-being, personal finance, recognition of staff, the training and education, career opportunities, being able to participate in social upliftment events, and of course the freshly ground coffee and surprise treats that we get from time to time. So it's really a forward-looking, exciting, and caring environment.
Jazakallah for that. And just final thoughts from you, Mohammed Kaka. We speak about the Al Baraka family, we talk about the employees, but it is also about your customers, it is also about your clients. And I think that is absolutely important because this is a relationship that you've built. I mean, these are not just clients of your bank, they part of that broader or that extended family, for want of a better term.
Yes, Brother Inayat. I think our positioning statement has always been your partner bank. And we could have the best of employees, the best of computer systems. Without our valued customers, we would not exist. So I think we've seen the dedication to our customers. over this 35-year history of the organization. And we appreciate all the service and the support that we get from our customer base. It's through them that we are able to make the achievements and do what we are able to do on a day-to-day basis. So we look forward to servicing those customers. We look forward to finding financial solutions for them, which goes out without compromising their religious beliefs. And we look forward to engaging with our customers. Al Baraka is big on personal relationships. You're not a number when you come into this organization. It's got nothing to do with the value of your deposit or the value of your transaction. You could be the most affluent client, or you could be the most simplest of clients in our books. You will be treated with the same amount of respect. You will be given the same amount of opportunity, and you'll be given the same openness and neighborliness that is part of our values. We'll treat your account with the same amount of trust because that is who we are at Al Baraka. That is the values that we incorporate on a day-to-day basis. And that is what we do to make sure that every customer of ours feels special. Our service centers are designed such to provide customers with it, the environment where they're able to have a discussion around their financial needs. It's not just a center with big bulletproof glass or difficult to hear or anything like that. We go our extra mile to making our customers feel comfortable.
Well, Alhamdulillah, it's been wonderful for us as well as media to be engaging with Al Baraka Bank from time to time and over the years. And I must say, for me personally, it's been an absolute pleasure being with Al Baraka over the years, both during my time at CII, and also I recall the At-Tijara program that we used to host on a regular basis as well, and also at Salam Media. So, inshallah, that association will continue from time to time. But for now, we're going to have to leave it at that. Once again, we'd like to congratulate each and every one associated with Al Baraka Bank on this milestone, a wonderful milestone that has been achieved as you celebrate 35 years. And inshallah, Allah take you all from strength to strength, inshallah, and for obviously for the benefit of the ummah, and at the end of the day, to build this just society that we are looking for in each and every way. So to you, Advocate Abi Mohammed, Naushaad Ibrahim Khan, and Mohammed Kaka, Jazakallah for your time. Have yourself a wonderful Jummah, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa
Wa
alaikum
alaikum
salam
salam wa
wa
rahmatullahi wa
rahmatullah.
barakatuh.
Well, that brings us to the end of this particular interview with Al Baraka Bank. 35 years of existence once again. MashaAllah, congratulations to Al Baraka Bank. And we're going to go for a quick ad break. And when we come back, we will end off with Fired Up with Hafiz Imran Chunara.